Okay, the first thing I'd like to do in this follow-up is tell you guys just what it is that I'm planning to do besides another Does Blizzard Really Hate series. I mean, I've gotten a lot of suggestions like, does Blizzard really hate the Alliance, or does Blizzard really hate Shaman? But I've got something else lined up for myself after I'm done with this. It's a very simple game that I'm making with Java called Snag. I guess in its most basic concept, Snag is a lot like Missile Command. It's a simple game where you scramble to grab boxes before they hit the bottom of the screen. If even one box hits the bottom, game over. Actually, I started working on Snag before I started working on Does Blizzard Really Hate Paladins. My original plan was to finish Snag first, and then work on Does Blizzard Really Hate Paladins. But with the release of Wrath of the Lich King looming, I realized that I had to get out some real criticism before things got out of hand. Already in the review, I've mentioned a lot of times when Paladins got screwed over, when they were supposed to get fixed. I really didn't want a repeat performance of that, and I thought that maybe putting all the complaints in a video form would help. Maybe it has, who knows. Blizzard pays a lot of attention to videos like these. Plus, everything that I've said from an aside where I toot my own horn leads me to believe that Blizzard is listening very carefully. Whether there are any actual real changes as a result, I don't know, and I won't know unless Blizzard comes out and says, yeah, we heard about this from this video, and yeah, we decided this. And I don't think Blizzard is going to do that. Not right now, anyway. A few months after Wrath of the Lich King's release, if the consensus is that the Paladin class has been fixed, then maybe they'll venture to do something like that, but I don't know. It's iffy. Anyhow, once I get Snag done, I plan to make it free for downloading. I'm not exactly sure where I'll have it free for downloading, but it'll be available. It might look kind of like it's complete now, and I suppose in some ways it is. I mean, right now it's playable, fun, even addicting. But there are still a couple problems to work out, and there are some features that I still want to add. My main problem right now is joysticks. I would really like to be able to add joystick and game controller input to this game. I have game controller input while I'm running it in Eclipse, but when I try to compile it into an executable jar file, I get class not found errors. I guess this is because all the JInput classes are in a jar file themselves. And I really don't know how to resolve this issue. If anybody out there has some tips, please let me know. Something else I'd like to do with Snag is make it so that you can grab pictures or sound effects of your own and customize the game with them. Imagine replacing that plus sign with, say, a mouth and those boxes with, say, pieces of pizza. Or maybe replacing the plus sign with a giant dragon and then replacing the boxes with the heads of people you don't like. It could be pretty amusing. Snag is really intended to sort of get my feet wet in the area of Java games programming. Ideally, I can make a game later on that becomes popular enough for me to actually make money off of it. But that's probably a few years down the road at least. There's probably a lot of you who are out there thinking, you know, this guy makes his own games, he's a programmer for a living. He should totally be working at Blizzard. I've had people say that in response to these videos, but to be honest, I don't think I'd want to work at Blizzard, and here's why. A warning to any employees of Blizzard who are listening to this right now, you're probably going to be either very disappointed or enraged by what I'm about to say, but this is honestly the message that I am getting. Back before patch 1.9 came out, Cadium's treatment to the Paladin community was absolutely abusive. And as far as us customers know, she was never punished for this behavior. Pretty much the worst thing that you can do as an employee of a company is to abuse the customers. That's exactly what Cadium did, and we don't see her getting punished for that. The message that sends is this: Blizzard is a workplace where justice is non-existent. Abuse is absolutely tolerated, maybe even encouraged, who knows? And Blizzard is so secretive that it's actually pretty suspicious. Maybe there's more going on than we see, but the fact that we're not seeing it is also a problem. And until I see something that really makes me want to change my opinion, I'm not going to change it. And I'm sorry if Blizzard employees or managers are listening to this right now and are mad that I've said it, but it's honestly the message that I'm getting. Anyhow, enough about all this negativity about Blizzard. Let's talk about the changes that they've made since Part 14 came out. First, let's start with the Holy Tree. Well, maybe I shouldn't have started with the Holy Tree if I didn't want negativity against Blizzard. First off, there's what Blizzard hasn't done. We still don't have an area of effect heal. Judging from Ghostcrawler's comments, they're aware of this, but they think that Beacon of Light makes up for that. I suppose to some extent it does, but it's really not the same. Only time will tell if it's really effective, but we'll have to see. Second, there's Judgments of the Pure. I guess Blizzard's idea of fixing it is making it so that it gives you extra spell haste. My idea of fixing it is taking it out of the tree altogether, or maybe merging it into Enlightened Judgments, and then giving us something with more synergy, like, say, a talent that increases the amount of spell damage or healing that you get based off of your spell power. I really feel like Deep Holy shouldn't revolve around Judgment. On the other hand, with the changes, like making it 60 seconds instead of 30 seconds, and increasing the amount of spell haste it grants, I've gone through the arithmetic, and it looks like it's about a 10% increase in our healing per second. That really isn't anything to sneer at. Also, having another judgment on the target isn't exactly nothing. Finally, there's the nerf to Infusion of Light. Before, when you scored a crit with Holy Shock, you'd get an instant cast Holy Light. Apparently that was too powerful for player versus player. So instead, it only gives you instant flash of lights, and it decreases the cast time of Holy Light. So much for Paladins being more mobile healers. I mean, they could have gotten a little bit more creative in getting a player versus player solution out there. Like, say, they could have made it so that if you get an Infusion of Light on you, you get an instant cast Holy Light, but if you cast it on yourself, it's incapable of a critical hit or something. My opinion is that the changes to Holy are so close to call that I'm not even going to change the score as a result of them. Sorry to cut this short, again. But like in part 11, it's just gotten a little bit too long for me to cram it all into one part. So there's going to be a part 17 as well. I'm going to talk about Retribution, Protection, and some of the core changes that have and haven't happened to us.